Hey guys, this is my full beginner range guide to Elite Dungeons 1. I hope this video is able to help anyone out who is either looking to learn or get better at Elite Dungeons 1 with range. Hope you guys all enjoy the video. Hey guys, this is going to be my learner range ED1 guide. So yeah, we're just gonna go through this. Basically, the only requirements would just be probably tier 80 armor and tier 90 weapons, and just the equipment that's in my inventory, which we'll go through in a second. This is a no limitless, no tier 99 prayer, no ECB, that type of guide. So hopefully this can help anyone out who is looking to do range ED1, and yeah, any feedback is appreciated. So we'll just quickly go through the gear, which is just full Serenic. If you have Elite Serenic, you can bring that. If you use Pernix, you can bring that as well. Nightmare Gauntlets are best in slot gloves. If you want better boots, you can bring the Glavins with the wingtip. Range Kiln Cape. And if you're not maxed, you can use a Range Skill Cape for extra procs on your bolts. Ideally, you want to have Ruby Bolts, and you can bring a different bolt for lower health enemies. Hydrix give Adrenaline, Onyx bolts heal you, so those are good throughout the dungeon. So if you want to use some of those, I'd recommend using Onyx over Hydrix, as Hydrix are extremely expensive and quite situational. Necklace is just Amulet of Souls. If you have an Essence of Finality, you can use that as well. And for your ring choice, just either a Silent Surgeons or a Ring of Death, up to you. And I have a Scrimshaw of Cruelty in my pocket slot. I am using Blightbound, that's just because I don't have Ascensions. You'll be able to do exactly the same with Ascensions. And yeah, as for the inventory, we've got some ring switches, Luck of the Dwarves, Ring of Vigor. The Shadow Glaive is a planted feet switch, Calphite Repriser as a shield switch, so just if you don't have those, just whatever your equivalent is. Mechanized Chin Chompers for AoEing the dungeon. Vulnerability Bombs for the bosses, and then food and prayer pots, as well as overloads and adrenaline potions. Bladed Dive Switch, Dominion Mines, and Lucky Charms if you'd like to use those. And of course a Weapon Poison, which won't have as much effect because we're not using Cinderbanes, but it's still useful. Okay, so we're going to start off the dungeon. And you just want to pot up and prayers on, and have your Bladed Dive switch on, and as you come around this corner, you can Bladed Dive through it to avoid aggroing the two guards at this front. Stand on this corner here that I'm sitting in, and aggro the one in the middle. And just use your Chin Chompers and your offhand crossbow, and just use Snapshot and your bleeds, and they will die quite quickly. Bladed Dive Surge all the way down. You can soul split most of this area, and just go in this corner here. It's gonna make sure that they all stack up, and they're all going to, only a few are going to be able to attack you at a time because they're all blocked off. And here, just put your Chin Chompers on again, and just drop your bleeds in the center of, just try and target one that's in the center of all the enemies. That way your Chin Chompers will hit as many enemies as possible. Make use of Corruption Blast as well. And here we're just going to finish them off. This part here, anticipate before you go in, aggro the middle one. You want to use a Ricochet and then step back until they move forward like that. That way they can stack up, and you can use your Chin Chompers and just use either a Rapid Fire and your bleeds, or your bleeds in a Snapshot as well. And have Mage Prey on for a majority of the rest of the dungeon, until we get after the first boss, but these mobs in the dungeon here do hurt if you don't have Mage Prey on. Aggro the one in the middle again, and just Ricochet and walk back until they stack up, and then aggro the Elite Sakadami in the middle, and just Rapid Fire, drop your bleeds, Snapshot, etc. And just make sure you, of course, you're using your Chin Chompers here, because that is the way to clear with range. As you can see, they die quite quickly. With these Elite Sakadagami enemies, they do stun, so you want to anticipate before you aggro any of them. For this part here, make sure you hug the wall. You don't want to be one tile out, otherwise it's going to aggro both sides. So choose which side you want. I like to go to the left. But yeah, I'm going to anticipate after I aggro these. So you want to Ricochet, walk back 2 steps until they stack up. and then anticipate and use your Chin Chompers and just aggro the one in the center and rapid fire. As you can see, they die quite easily. Mage Prey on for this part, most definitely. And if you want to eat up, you can activate Devotion as well. Once you pass... I'll go back a second there. Once you pass this line, you're able to Bladed Dive Surge across, as you can see here. If you try and Bladed Dive Surge before you pass that line, it's going to hit you into the wall rather than go straight through. Here, Anticipate again, because we've got more of these mages, and just Chin Chompers on. Here you're going to see me walk through, which wasn't very smart, as you saw the one of the enemies moved, and I'm only attacking 2 at this time. So make sure you don't do that, just make sure they stay as 3, and then you'll be able to kill them all at once with your Chin Chompers. And once you kill them all, just tally out, and reload your preset, etc. Just going to skip ahead to the kill. So get your preset together and just teleport through the boss. This is where you want to be using your Scrimshaw of Cruelty, which increases your range damage. And you're just going to want to have Range Prey on, as well as your range damage prayer. And just start off by auto-attacking the boss, throwing a Von Bomb, and then activating Diff Swiftness. And you want to Needle Strike, Adrenaline Potion, Snipe into a Snapshot with another Needle Strike and another basic Melee Prey, and then Rapid Fire. If you saw here, after a certain number of attacks, he's going to go and move his character down. That's when he's doing his Mage hit, Melee hit, sorry. So switch to Melee Prey and then back to Range Prey. Here he's going to start spinning, put your shield on, and activate Resonance. You can Soul Split during this whole spinning phase as well, and you just want to keep going through your Diff Swiftness rotation with Needle Strikes into Snipes, and of course using your Thresholds, Snapshot, Piercing Shot, Tight Bindings, and Rapid Fire. Again, he's going to do his melee hit there. Here when you get the smoke, it's your choice where you want to put it. Here I like to Bladed Dive out for the first one so that it's far away from me, and then just move back into the boss, because you don't want them to be super close to you at the beginning, depending on how many smokes you're going to get. For the second spin, you're going to want to put your shield on and Reflect, because Resonance will not be ready, and just keep going through with your DPS rotations, and just build back up to a Diff Swiftness. So, with the smoke, he's going to do another melee hit. Just walk over, drop it near your other smoke, Range Prey back on, and then build up for a Diff Swiftness. Resonance, the spin attack again. And since we're not using Limitless, this isn't a Limitless guide, we're just going to build up to 50% and then start using our Snapshot and Rapid Fire. With the smoke, Melee Prey on again for that melee hit. And then drop the smoke and walk out of it, of course. Again, with the spin, we're going to switch over to our shield and Reflect. And then just continue with your Diff Swiftness rotation. At this point, these little range minions will spawn, which means you have to be a little careful with the spin attack that he's going to do, because if you use Resonance, it can get sniped if you don't use it on the same tick as it's about to hit you. So here, switch to shield and res as it goes over you. Alternatively, you can bring Disruption Shield and Resonance, or if you want, you can Devotion with Range Prayer, and then Resonance, and the Resonance won't get sniped, because it will be Devotion will be blocking the hits of the minions. Once you finish the boss, you just want to go through the door, and just surge all the way down, and Bladed Dive across. In this zone, there are Hanto Cell Swords over here, there's another one walking across here. These two circle this area, and then there's 2 more sitting up there, which you won't normally aggro, but if one of these guards, the Hanto Cell Swords, are walking on this area and they spot you, they will come attack you. If you see them use a chat line, it means they're going to spick. They'll say die by the blade, put Melee Prayer on, and just eat up a little bit. If they're not on you, you can just Soul Split. And here you're going to see me drop some bleeds, and then Snapshot. and just destroy these zealots. So you just need to kill the 2 zealots. That's all you need to do for this this barrier, and then walk through. It's up to you whether you want to kill the Death Lotus Rangers here. Just make sure that you know what you're doing if you don't. So basically, I'm going to demonstrate just killing them. So you just want to have Soul Split on for now, and then put your range prayer on when they say their chat line, and activate Devotion. As soon as they say that chat line, you want to activate Devotion and put your range prayer on. If you don't do that, you will die very quickly. Especially if you don't have range prayer on, you'll die within seconds. So if you want to do it that way, as you can see with Chinchompers, they die very quickly. So you can just drop them and then move on to the Zealots. But you don't need them to open the barrier, but they can be deadly. Once you kill those Zealots and open the barrier, just surge down. Mage prayer is the most effective defensive prayer for this area. And you just want to surge and bladed dive all the way down to this 1 Zealot. This Zealot is the only thing you need to kill for this gate. And so just Soul Split on and just drop some single target abilities, Snapshot, Snipe, etc. And you're just going to surge all the way through and come to the 3 Zealots scouting the next barrier. Put your Chinchompers back on. And you're just going to rapid fire. Actually, it doesn't look like a rapid fire. But either way, just AoEs. Well, Chinchomper makes everything AoE, so it's good fun. Again, for the spot, you're just going to want to put your Chinchompers on and just drop a Corruption Blast and then a Rapid Fire in the middle of them. Make sure when you're using Chinchompers, you always activate the one, always attack the one who is closest to the most surrounding enemies, so that you're attacking the most enemies at one time. Now here you see there's a lot of crabs around me, so I actually decided to put my Chinchompers back on, even though there was only 1 to kill. Only 1 Zealot left to kill to open the door, but I just wanted to heal up a little bit with the Chinchompers. Now here, if you remember at the start of the dungeon for these mages, we dragged them out a bit so that they would stack up. I didn't do that here, but you can just ricochet one of them and then just walk back until these 2 mages stack up. They'll walk towards each other and center. But here I didn't do that, so you're just watching me single target them. Ideally, also, you don't want to be using Ruby Bolts for these low health enemies, so bring something like Onyx for healing, or Diamond for accuracy. For this area, just walk all the way down to this corner, and you'll be able to Soul Split. The reason we walk down this corner, it means only 2 enemies can attack you at once. And just put your Chinchompers on, and just drop some bleeds with the Chinchompers, and then just rapid fire the most central enemy. Now, there are Hanto Sellswords here. Once you kill these Menifite officers or warriors, whatever they're called, they will be able to move forward and get close to you. At this point, you want to put melee prayer on. If you want to, you can also Devotion. That's up to you. And you just want to keep AoEing, drop another rapid fire, drop your bleeds. Make sure you got Chinchompers on this whole time. As you can see, everything dies quite quickly. Now, for this area here, if you see this shadow and these ribbons, if you line up with these and surge forward, you won't aggro the Death Lotus Rangers sitting behind these corners. But to make sure that you do this correctly, you need to make sure that the Renegade officers and the healers, which are sometimes to the left, aren't walking across. Because if they're walking across and they see you, then the Death Lotus will turn around to be like, hey, what's going on? So yeah, the Renegade officers, they've walked across, and so you're able to surge forward. You saw me surge bladed dive on the same tick. You can do that as well if you know how to do that. Basically, all you have to do is just surge forward, and then bladed dive to this spot here, just to the side. It doesn't matter, that's not actually how you skip the ranges, it's just the surge that skips the ranges. So that's all you need to know. And here, just Chinchompers on. You want to aggro, you want to be targeting one of these 2 in the middle, and that way it'll hit the 2 on the side. One of them will be left out, but there's not much you can do about that unless you drag them out. And just finish off the 3, and then just single target the last dude alive. And then you're going to tally out, and get ready for the next boss fight. I'll just skip ahead to that. So just load up your preset again. For for the bosses, make sure you have your ruby bolts on, because they will be hitting constant 12Ks, as the bosses have very high HP. You just want to have melee prey on, and then your range damage prey, and of course protect item. And you're just gonna, since you're ranging, the boss is gonna walk down to you. So just start off with a fragmentation shot, as it's gonna instantly get double damage, and then a corruption shot, and then def swiftness while throwing down a von bomb. Adrenaline prot, needle strike, snipe, snapshot, and then just build a little bit and wait for him to spin. You can tank like 2 to 3 hits of the spin. It'll only deal like 400 damage each hit. It will ramp up though, so you want to make sure that you're above 50%, and then after 2 to 3 hits you activate Devotion like you saw here. And then just build up and go back in your diff swiftness and rapid fire. If you're rapid firing, your character will stand still, Masuda won't be able to push you. Same with snipe. And so just keep using your strong basics, needle strike into snipe, needle strike into your thresholds. When the purple material starts forming, that means he's going to do his mage attack. Put your mage prey on now and switch to your shield and reflect. It's just a little safe way of doing it. You don't have to do that if you want to surge away, or if you just want to tank it with mage prey, you can, but you will take a little extra damage. With the pulverize abilities, if you want, you can take your melee prey off and Riz for a nice 3 to 5k heal. As soon as he starts spinning again, surge away very quickly, get out of there. And with this attack, he's standing right here by my Mercury Demon over there, right? His attack range while he's doing this, his animation is slow while he's walking, so he can actually probably hit me from about the top of the stairs from where he's standing right now. So you want to make sure you stay very far away, especially if you're going to put Soul Split on like I am here. Stay well away, just max distance, don't get close to him because it is quite deceptive and he can kill you without you realizing that you're in range. And you just want to drop your bleeds like fragmentation for the double damage, and then just wait for him to stop spinning. Melee prey back on, and then just finish off his HP. The HP phase cap is 275k. His next auto attack after that will initiate the phase with Thrashing Waters. Here what you're going to see me do, which you'll want to do as well, is surge down and walk to this gate. What that does is this drags Masuda down as far as possible as you'll be able to. And that way you can stand down here and attack him without being in range of any of the Thrashing Waters that spawn up the top. And you just want to kill these Thrashing Waters. If you want, you can walk melee distance of them, which will give you 5% damage reduction towards Masuda's range attacks, mage attacks on the next phase. I would recommend not going up for like this one here. Don't go up for that one, because there will be Thrashing Waters up the top, which will be in range, and they will all attack you at once and hurt you. So like for here, you see me drop a snapshot and then quickly back away once it's dead, because I'm starting to get attacked. What you can do though, is you can place Soul Split on while there's no Thrashing Waters down here for you to kill, and attack Masuda. You'll only be hitting 1s and 5s and such, but it will actually heal you for the full damage as if he didn't have an HP cap on him right now. So you can just heal while you're waiting for this phase to end. And for each Thrashing Water that spawns, just put Mage Prey on and just finish them off. You'll know the phase has come to an end when Masuda says a chat line. Here he is. And what you want to do is just put Mage Prey on at the start and get your diff swiftness up so that you don't mess anything up, and just eat up a little bit. So that jump attack with the whole purple smoke, that's his mage attack. He's going to do that every 3 to 5 attacks, guaranteed every 3 to 5 attacks. You won't know which one, but just know that's every 3 to 5. So what you can do is make sure you stay high HP, and during the range attacks you can Soul Split. Just be ready that every 3 to 5 attacks you're going to need to switch to Mage Prey. So here you're going to see me switch to Mage Prey and take a 2.7k. If I didn't have Mage Prey on, that would have been almost a 6k. And of course, if you want, you can take a nice Riz, which you will see me do later in the kill. I did it here, but he splashed, so I just kept on Soul Splitting. And so every 3 to 5 attacks, just make sure that you are ready to switch to Mage Prey or Riz. And you just want to keep going through your diff swiftness rotation until diff swiftness is over, and then just drop your bleeds and just keep DPSing the boss down. I'm pretty sure on the next mage attack I go for the Riz, or actually it'll be the one after. At about now, you're going to see my vulnerability wear off. If it does, and the HP is a little higher than what it is here, make sure that you re-vulnerability, as it is 10% damage increase. And here, he's going to do a mage hit, and I'm just going to go ahead and res that. As you can see, a nice 5.6k heal, so if you want to do that every 30 seconds throughout the kill, just make sure that you do it when he does the mage hit, as it's a nice fat heal. And you're just going to finish off the Suda, and then proceed with the dungeon. Now there's going to be some defense pylons at the start here, don't worry about them, don't have to do anything with them, just surge all the way down, mage spray on, and attack the one in the middle. Don't worry about AoEing them, just kill them single target with range, and yeah, so you just need to kill the one in the middle and then the two by the chest, so drop your snapshot, rapid fire, etc. Now once you've finished that off, you can tally out and re-gear. I'm just going to fast forward to the kill. So once you've got the gear that you, once you've got your preset set up, you can head back to the boss, and of course equip your ruby bolts. And we're just going to start off with a corruption shot into a death swiftness, and make sure that you vulnerability the boss as well. You can use your adrenaline potion here, and you just want to needle strike snipe into a snapshot, and then needle strike again, and then another basic into a rapid fire. When you start this rapid fire, if you do that same amount of abilities as I did, he's going to be doing a mage hit. Just keep your mage spray on. You can res that if you want, but you don't want to cancel your rapid fire for it. And you're just going to keep DPSing in your death swiftness. Make sure you're prioritizing needle strike snipe and using needle strike before a lot of your abilities. Pretty much every time needle strike is off cooldown, make sure that you use it. It is a very good ability. Try and avoid using bleeds inside your death swiftness, as they don't gain bonus damage. Here you're going to see me take a nice res. If you want to do that as well, each time he does that big breath attack, you can resonance. If you don't like taking off your prayer and res, then just leave it on and get a res, and you can still get a nice 2.5k to 3k heal. And you're just going to keep DPSing the boss down. Once he reaches 7.2 mil HP, that's the phase point, so just be ready and make sure you're at 100% adrenaline for that. Other than that, there's not much to it for this phase, just keep DPSing. I forgot to mention, these hand attacks that happen, the first one happens at 52 seconds, so just watch out for that. Just stay away from the walls, you're ranging, you don't need to be close to the walls, and you'll be fine. And of course, with the hand attacks that come out like that, just move a couple tiles to the side, and with the tendrils, of course, just move to the side as well. Now, before you're about to jump up, make sure you use an ability to reset your combat timer. So here it was resonance, and I used an anticipate as well before I jumped. The reason you want to do that is you don't want to drop adrenaline while you're climbing. Once you're at the top, vulnerability bomb, corruption blast, corruption shot, sorry, and then get your death swiftness up. If you have limitless here, you can use it. It's not required, but this is a non-limitless guide, of course. Needle strike snipe, and then just binding shot, needle strike, and then snapshot again. If you're going to use tendrils inside your death swiftness here, just do it earlier in the rotation so that you can heal back up. You want to heal up to full here because you're going to be onslaughting the middle crystal. Get your rapid fire off and just DPS down the middle crystal. You'll notice I didn't place mines, and the reason for that is just because they're not, you don't want to be using them on the first crystal since we're going to be onslaughting the middle one. Here you saw me switch bolts. The reason you want to switch bolts around 50 to 60k HP is because they'll start doing too little damage to be worth it, and they'll actually hinder your damage. They're gonna, yeah, like you could hit a 4k, but then with the ruby bolts, if they spec'd, it's gonna hit like a 200 if the HP of the boss is only 2k. Once you finish off the first crystal, you're gonna head over to the middle crystal, put a vulnerability bomb on it, and you're just gonna wait for the heals to come in, and place a dread nip out if you're using them, and then basically the heals come in 3 sets of 2. So it's gonna do 2 heals, and then a little bit of time, and then 2 heals, and then 2 heals. And so what you want to do is on the 3rd and 4th heal, or the 2nd set of heals, you want to place your mines. So just don't worry about the first set of heals, they're irrelevant. When number 3 and 4 come up, place your mines. Then when number 5 and 6 come up is when you activate onslaught. Don't wait for those heals to finish, by the way. Once number 5 is up, activate Onslaught. And you're just going to let your Onslaught go. Make sure you don't KO yourself with it, but make sure you get as much damage as you can. And here I just used a Needle Strike and dropped a Bleed as well. Once you get hit off, Freedom, because you will be stunned, and you want to Freedom as soon as possible so that you can get onto these slimes. Just use a Ricochet to bounce between the targets and get a few of them aggroed on you, and just finish them off. Use your AoEs. If you want, you can switch to your chins, but it's not really required. Just one Bombardment, a Corruption Blast, or Corruption Shot if you have it. If you want to, he's going to do a Mage hit here. You can just res that, and then just get another Death Swiftness off. Do not use your Adrenaline Potion here. You don't want to be using your Adrenaline Potion for that Death Swiftness because you need it for when you go back up for the next crystals. If you have Limitless, you can use it here, but again, this is a non-limitless guide, so I won't be using it in the video. So just build up to 50% since you're not using Adrenaline Potion for this Death Swiftness, and just get your Snapshot and Rapid Fire off. And then again, just keep using Needle Strike, Snipe, Tight Bindings. If you want to use the Tendrils, you can, just make sure you don't KO yourself. Now again, the HP phase point is 7.2 mil. You want to make sure that when you're approaching that you're at 100% adrenaline. And we're just going to DPS the boss all the way down. If you want to reapply your vulnerability when it wears off, make sure that you do that. And remember that you will be going up the opposite side that you went up on the first cycle. So we need to kill the full HP crystal first. Now, if you're using Berserker's Fury Relic, make sure that you're not soul splitting on this cycle because you won't need to, because theoretically, if we're getting a 2 cycle, the kill will be over before you take any more damage once you're up on the crystals. Again, you want to get to the jump spot as fast as possible, so I like to Bladed Dive it. Just anything to reset combat timer though. Anticipate Freedom if you want, just make sure it's not Threshold. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. You do need to be quite quick here. You want to save as much time as possible with the initial casting of abilities on this crystal, so you want to get your Vulnerability Bomb ready. As soon as you're able to, you place the Von Bomb, Corruption Shot, Surge, Place Mines, and Death Swiftness. The reason you do it like that is because the time it would take to actually click close enough to the crystal and walk there and place mines is going to be a complete waste of time, and you want to get there as fast as possible. And you're able to use Surge outside of global cooldown. That means you can use an ability and use Surge before your abilities come off cooldown. So you want to use Corruption Blast, or Corruption Shot, sorry, then Surge straight away, place mines, Death Swiftness, and then Adrenaline Potion. Then you want to Needle Strike Snipe, and then get your Snapshot off, and then Needle Strike again, and get a Rapid Fire. Here you saw me put Soul Split on a little bit. The only reason I'm doing that is because I wanted to use a Tendrils. So here you're going to see me activate Tendrils, and I just didn't want to KO myself, so I had to increase my HP. So just keep using your Thresholds, finish off this crystal, and once you're done with that, make sure you move on to the second one as fast as possible. Place a Von Bomb, and just finish off your Death Swiftness. Drop your bleeds as well, Corruption Shot especially, and then just Needle Strike, Snipe, Snapshot, all of that stuff. Make sure that when the crystals become a little lower HP, about 50k, that you switch off your Ruby Bolts. Either Onyx, they will heal you, so if you're using Berserker's Fury, you might not want to use those, but Onyx, Diamonds are okay, and Hydrix as well if you want to get extra adrenaline, although they are expensive. That's pretty much the end of the whole run. As you noticed, this was a guide without an aura, just to show that you guys can do this without an aura. Of course, if you have Reckless, it will significantly increase your damage. Dark Magic as well is good. I wouldn't recommend using an Accuracy aura. It won't do too much. You can use Majorat. Majorat's also good if you have it, which can be obtained via Reaper points. And just any other DPS auras that you may have. And that's pretty much it. That's the guide. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in my stream, or just in Discord. Yeah, so happy for you guys to reach out to me about any questions you have about the guide, and if you have any feedback or questions, yeah, just always open to hear that. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope anyone who's using this guide, hopefully it helps you out. And I'll catch you guys later.